Welcome to the Partners Podcast, where you get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to entrepreneurs who are relentlessly building real, profitable companies. Join us as we ask them the hard questions so you can take away the mindset, strategy, and tactics that launch them to success. Welcome to the Partners Podcast. I'm joined by my good friend here today, Evan Nicolini.
What's up?
The man, the myth, the legends. If you guys aren't following him already, check him out on Instagram. He's absolutely crushing it. He does commercials. He runs a software company. And he's working on always cool things. And this guy's a funny guy. You should follow his Instagram. He's a little bit of a troll. But that's what I love. One of my favorite quotes is, life is too short to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And if you like people that like to have fun, this guy is the guy to follow.
Wait, how did we meet again?
Did I DM you or?
You slid in my DMs?
I slid in your DMs, dude. I think I slid in your DMs, that's for sure.
Oh, man. What was your question? What was even your question?
Introduce yourself. What are you working on?
Well, right now, so we just wrapped up on like a really big project for Celsius, which I showed these guys. It was, 2-month-long production, heavy in visual effects. It is the craziest commercial Celsius has ever done, let alone I think it'll rank with some stuff Red Bull, Gatorade's probably done. And so we just wrapped up on that. And then right now I've just been working on custom e-signature. This email software company that I've been building for the last like a year. I hate to even say it. I'm remiss to say that, but really, building out in 2 months. Yeah.
Well, you're up to a lot of badass things to put it shortly. And that was like a 6-figure production, right?
Yeah.
And this custom e-signature company, in 2 sentences, what's the vision?
The vision, how I explain custom e-signature is like the Instagram verification badge. Like it really is. Like when you see someone with a verified badge, even if they have 10,000 followers, you're just like, oh, this person, it's not an easily attainable thing, right? So there's some credibility to that person. Yeah. With custom e-signature, it's like the Instagram verification badge for email. You get this sick animated signature, which you don't see anywhere, like 99% of the time. You get an email from that's like, never seen that, and that person feels the inclination to maybe respond, and so it increases your response rate.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So let's time travel. When did you first identify as an entrepreneur? When did you first get into business?
Especially in college, like you were probably saying, where'd you go to college again?
Illinois.
Illinois. Yeah. And you majored in
marketing and IT.
Yeah. Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah. Actually, I had a triple major: international business, marketing, and IT. And it's all bullshit.
No, yeah.
What I've learned in like just a few months working with like entrepreneurs, like those skill sets, those like actual hands-on experience and like failing and learning and trying.
Yes.
Dude, I bullshitted my way through college. I didn't learn anything. I faked it.
Imagine if we had ChatGPT, bro. Write me an essay.
Yep.
10 pages long. Here's the prompt. No, I asked because I went to school. I was like yourself. I didn't double major, but I was aggressively trying to learn everything. And I learned earlier on from my mentor, who was the department head of the CTVA department for cinema. And he was the president of Paramount Television for 20 years. He was definitely my mentor, and he definitely taught me like the importance of like find the people that like resemble what you're trying to move towards and do, because those people will accelerate your growth faster than learning any hard skill. Granted, like I was telling you, hard skills are important. They open up opportunities if you don't already have some foot in the door. But if I know someone like yourself who's already built, Aerial Canvas and ACRE partners, and they have tried and truths of like, this is how you scale, this is how you go from 10 employees to 50 employees. This is how you make this much money, this is how you deal this. That's way more valuable when you have tried experience than some theory from college.
Exactly. That's kind of said it better myself. I learned more from pushing around a dim sum cart, which was my first job.
Holy shit.
Working with an old lady saying, "Are you on a dim sum?"
Yeah.
That I did, my first year of college, because it was like real world experience, interacting with people, customers, dealing with like management, trying to like stand up for myself, because I was just like, dude, I'm breathing in fumes right now. Like this, I don't know if this passes the safety, marks, and just learning how to like hold my own in society is way more valuable than you know trying to plagiarize an essay like with ChatGPT.
Well, I mean, like even when I first met you, and I met you at the Aerial Canvas office, you know, there was even things, you know, after we talked that like I took that into my business and it helped me. Like even just, you know, your advice on just like certain things in business about communicating in certain styles and budgets, and you know, since then I've met some like, you know, very high level, incredible people, especially entrepreneurs that are like genuine at heart. You know, like, oh yeah, I run a $50 million business, but you would never know. I fuck with those people because like you meet the reverse and it's like, I don't want to talk to someone. I feel like it's just fake. You know? And, you know, I took some things you said and put into my business. I've said some stuff that helped other people. And I love that back and forth. That's why you and I know each other, because whether you shot me a DM or I shot you a DM, whatever, is like, I've had instances like that are so random. I'm like, wow, I'm so glad I fucking met
and
that
now
person.
we're good buddies. We're trusted advisors. I know we almost worked on a project together in the NFT space.
Oh, shit.
But you know, we all know what happened to that industry.
That's not good.
For now, well, I'm sure I'll turn the page one day. So let's talk about your journey. You went from college, and then I checked out your resume. You were the CMO of Hyperion. How the fuck did you go from a college graduate to a CMO position? Were you even qualified, or did you bullshit your way in?
So that's what's funny, actually. I'm glad you said it, because I was not really qualified. But one thing, and you've even said this to me in the people you look to hire, I was just that person that if I don't know how to do it, I will fucking learn how to do it. Because like I always wanted big things, like yourself, I wanted to learn a lot in college. I was always like learning like Webflow or After Effects or Cinema 4D. And so, you know, they asked me to do some stuff I didn't know, and I learned that shit hella fast, and they didn't know because I learned it so quick that they just did it exactly how they wanted it. But yeah, you know, I got out of college. There was a smaller company, probably like 50 people or so, and my buddy Michael showed me the car one day on FaceTime, and I was like, I thought he was just bullshitting me, and he showed me the car. I'm like, that doesn't even, I thought it was CG on a FaceTime. And so yeah, he introduced me to the CEO, and I went in there one day. They checked out some of the work I did in college, which honestly wasn't even like anything crazy compared to now, but they saw value in it, and I look back on them and appreciate that now. Gave me a shot, and I led their marketing for like 2 years, and you know, all cross-channel, like website, social, TV, and you know, at events. It was cool.
Back to Hyperion. When you were the CMO at Hyperion, what was like your biggest challenge? Like, you always figure stuff out, but what was the actual like?
That's great, yeah. And honestly, managing people, like, you know, in college, you work on a team project, and there would always be someone lagging. And I thought when I get in my career, you know, people are invested in their career, and no, it's like a school, college project. There are people who don't do their job, and you know, reprimanding someone in a politeful way, just telling them, hey, your performance is not meeting what we need it to be, is not like the easiest thing. And that was tough for me because I'm a very agreeable person. I'm not a disagreeable person. So I had to learn the trait of like, you know, everybody can't like you as much as I want that. But
and then sometimes you got to carry the team. I remember I turned in a project for my entire group. I did the whole project. And they all got A minuses.
Dude, but I love, but that type of person goes back to what I was saying about like, no, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll learn it. It's like, you won't even if other people aren't doing the job, you're not gonna let that be the detriment of your success. Like you'll fucking carry the team.
Yeah, it's a sense of ownership that you don't get, you know, from people that I think are unsuccessful. They brag about like luck. They brag about like. I had someone who literally, like, I'm not gonna call him out by his first name, but he called me late at night. He's like, hey, I'd love to go to your place and get this assignment done. I kind of need your help. And I'm like, yeah, sure, come over. And then 5 months later, he was bragging to my friend how he stole my paper and turned it in and just plagiarized it a little bit. And I'm just like,
college.
Why would you brag about fucking stealing shit? Like, like if I were and to someone I know that would tell me, and that if I really wanted to, I could be like, you suck. Like, let me get you expelled, you know, or something like that. But it didn't really matter to me because I also was a cheater in college. So he was cheating from the best cheater. It was like, you know, like I cheated because, you know, there's one thing to like cheat at someone else's expense. And there's another thing to cheat to gain a competitive advantage. And we all know the saying, great artists steal, right? What does that mean to you, great artists steal? Because I know, you know, like you take a lot of inspiration from a lot of people.
I mean, I was going to say that would roll over into like learning what other people are doing in my industry. Typically people who are doing, you know, 5, 10x what I'm doing and hearing what they're doing and, you know, politely taking certain methods they have or reframing that method. And they wouldn't be talking to you anyways. If you're not going to share this information, they didn't expect you to use it.
And sometimes you just ask for it. Like you'll call me and be like, hey, what's up? Like, tell me.
What do I do?
So you mentioned you had a mentor, you know, earlier in your career. What about now? Do you have like a coach or mentor you work with? If not, like, how do you learn and grow?
I did appreciate in college when I had one mentor coming from one source. It's very consistent. It created a very succinct identity because it was coming from one person. But nowadays, I love talking with yourself and 10, 20 other agency owners I know, people in like software. I'm big into SaaS now because I can even see it reflecting on the way I talk, the things I know about. It's so many, like, I don't know anything about freaking finance or real estate, but now I know like a decent amount because I'm just like spreading into different areas. So it's nice to have a good network, not like a mentor, but like a really solid network that you're tight with, like a mentor.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. That's definitely how I see it. And actually, I get the same benefits from teaching. Like the students I work with, I'm actually learning from at the same time. And that's my favorite part about teaching is like I'm always going to be a student. I'm always learning and I'm always going to aspire to teach. And luckily I'm in a position where, you know, there's agency owners that do trust me. Like yourself, I'm glad you called me for advice. I'm like, Evan Nicolini calls me for advice. Damn.
Give you that dopamine hit.
I was like, I'll give it to him for free. He's accomplished. That's like Michael Jordan calling LeBron James. And I'm like, I can help you out with basketball. But that's cool. So what happened after Hyperion? Like, tell me about your journey. Did you quit? Did you get fired? Like, what happened?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now, so I after 2 years, it was a great experience, but I definitely had this. It was a really cool company. I had just a different creative itch to do different industries, different projects. And so after 2 years, I felt good. I took some of the learnings from that company, how to manage people, how not to manage people as well. And I just was like, I'm going to do my own thing. At that point, geographically, I didn't have to be somewhere specific. So San Diego, I love. I was like, I'll just move to San Diego and figure it out. I started my LLC 2 years ago with Nicolini Productions, scaled that. Within the first year, it was a very slow growth. You know that. The next year was like not even the same. It's like not even a comparison. And then I started Custom e-signature because there was some success, some really big success in that. And so now I'm building that platform with the team out in India. That's freaking awesome. And just do the same shit every day.
I love it. When it comes to like growing your own business, right? You went from working for a big company that had like funds and capital to doing it yourself. What's the first, like, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs that might be switching industries, might be jumping into something new or do something for themselves? What is something that you need to keep in mind? Or like, what's the best 1, 2, 3 pieces of advice for an entrepreneur in their first year?
I mean, you'll learn really quickly if you're an entrepreneur or not. I feel like I've even had second guessing of myself, like if I'm built as an entrepreneur, because there's times where it's super stressful and I like low-key might want to give up a little bit or something. And that's the voice in my head, but I keep going.
So perseverance, being relentless is
absolutely relentless.
is a characteristic. Being relentless is a characteristic every entrepreneur needs to have.
Well, I want to say too, I'm not like that though. Like seriously, I'm super agreeable, and I don't necessarily have that relentless mentality. But I will say, with the people I've met and the experiences I've had to go through, it's just like growing pains. Like I adopted that, and it's changed my entire approach to business. How's that shifted in the last few years? You went from
not having that much work to doing 6-figure productions, landing easily, like, projects that are multiple, 5 figures.
Yeah.
How has your mindset shifted? Like, what were you like 2-3 years ago? Who was Evan Nicolini like 3 years ago, and who are you now?
I mean, I think then it was just kind of like, honestly, for a lot of people in my industry, for like video production or commercial space, they just undervalue themselves. It's that simple. You're a creator at heart. If you're lucky, you have a business mentality. You have relentlessness built into you, and you're good at negotiating. But for me, just underpricing stuff. And when I met people like yourself and other people on my network that were like, "Yeah, whoa, you charge that much? You should be charging 10x that, 20x that." And then I hear other people saying this consistently, and I'm like, I just have to do the complete opposite of what I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to challenge your own beliefs.
Yeah.
Because if you don't,
really,
you're just stuck, right? There's no way you can grow if you think you know everything, and you don't know what you don't know until someone slaps you with the invoice and says,
"For sure,
I did this, and I sold it for this, and you did this, and you sold it for this. What's wrong with you, Evan?"
I was gonna say, even like advice-wise, because I was talking about this on Instagram the other day. Like the 3 biggest things, even when you brought me to other people I've seen running successful business, was like knowing when to scale. Excuse me, because you talked about scale, and you said one thing I loved. You were like, well, sometimes scale is not the best thing to do, and that was a great point in time to hear that, because I was hearing from everybody scale, and that means like bring on a team, take all this overhead, find yourself $60,000 in debt, credit card debt or whatever. It's like that was kind of like, and you put it, because I wasn't like a year ago I didn't have like a big team, and I wanted to like scale, and I realized like if I had done what I wanted to, which is like just hire people, I don't think that would have went well. So like knowing the right time and place to scale, and then also delegating has changed my entire life. Like getting a $50,000 project, let's say, in the past, you'd be like, just make 80% margin and do all of it myself, but then I can't work on custom e-signature, I can't focus on my personal life, can't focus on any other projects. And
it's a fucking opportunity cost.
It is,
like you think you're making it, but what are you giving up? Right?
And you get so dialed into client services, you can't build, it's like a false sense of growth. Like personally you're growing, but the people around you aren't really growing because you're the one doing all the work. And but that's someone's decision. You can stay that way, or you can build something. And that's what I want to do. What I learned through you is like, I wanted to build something bigger with a bigger team, because I started to actually fall in love with like, damn, this person on my team made that much money. That's sick. Like, you know what I mean?
You're creating like careers, and you're feeding families, and you're building something that is going to stick around. Even if you might not be there, it's gonna building the machine that builds the machine is like one of the coolest concepts I got from Elon. Is just like, it's not just building it; it's building something that can perpetuate and evolve. And like, it's putting things in place where you can see it compound. Like you're investing, right?
Correct.
The concept of the reason why I love employees, because they help me with some hard like day-to-day tasks, and like not hard but like mundane or repetitive, or dealing with customers. I don't mind doing that, but what are you actually building, right? And the concept of an entrepreneur is you're building something, you're investing your time and energy to create something that can ideally grow with you and with a team and with an industry. Whereas if you have just a career and you're trading your time for money, if you don't have any equity, that's where you just cap out there, right?
I think a big thing too is like, the reason I wanted to become an entrepreneur is, I mean, I've learned this now, the real reason is I like long-term output, like long-term growth. And, I worked, I'm 25, so I'm still pretty young, but, even when I worked at corporate jobs, it definitely taught me like, okay, like my parents, they worked at the same company for 30 years, right? And that's a totally different path. I really want to build something scalable that I can retire when I'm 40. And I'm not going to stop working. I'm going to keep working.
What's retirement look like then? If you're gonna keep working, what's retirement look like?
I just want to, I've just had small exposure to like what it's like when you make decisions that aren't predicated on money, and it's the best decisions you ever make. Like in business, outside of business, especially for someone like myself, I'm very creative. And when I'm not held to a budget or anything financial, that is when the best shit comes out of me. Because I'm not held down. Yeah.
So what is it like to be Evan Nicolini day to day right now? Like, what do you do? Like, you mentioned you just finished this 6-figure production.
Yeah.
Now you're working on a custom e-signature.
Yeah.
How do you decide like what to do with your day?
Yeah. It comes in waves. Like sometimes if we have some big clients that we cannot like fuck around with, like I am in client services. Like I am working on the projects, working with directors, working with producers, working with our team. But then also, we'll have like little lapse of time where we don't have as much client projects, and that's when my team gets aggressively built into building the business. Looking at, like last week, I was working with my business partner on just sales automation platforms because we have custom e-signature, tens of thousands of emails from that business. We want to take all those emails, throw it into a sales automation platform, and just cycle everything through that. And we already did a blast of like 5,000 emails, and it's like crazy, like more work than I could even take on.
Really? Yeah. So what was the results of that email blast?
Like regarding the email, or what do you mean?
You said there's more work than you could take on. Is it
like,
more work in terms of doing it, or the return that you got?
The return was like, we have a decent client base in custom e-signature, but also just the people who fill out a form or submit their email and don't buy one. Reach out to these people, hey, we saw you came across a custom e-signature. By the way, we also have this production agency that does some incredible work, Nicolini Productions. Our e-signature is dope, right? So they look at it, it's like the verification badge, open up our website, more times often than not, we'll get a reply like, that's awesome, that's a cool agency. And better times we go, hey, it's such a coincidence, we're actually looking for a media agency or a marketing agency.
I love that.
And so, so it's just a lot of companies that are
so you're just turning over the rocks that are literally
correct.
Like you're just there's low hanging fruit. You're just making sure you're turning over those rocks, saying, hey, there's a treasure underneath this.
But even like one thing that you kind of like brought to top of mind for me when we first met was like in the creative space, like I'm so dialed in on like web design and visual effects, especially when I was starting out. And if I just had someone to say, Evan, just like stop fucking designing stuff, just sell your products. Because like that's the biggest thing that changed for me was I started to have a much more positive cash flow and actually built a company when I was just selling shit. Because I just love designing, and that's not a way to build a business. You have to like remove that and be a business person. Yeah,
absolutely. And
wait, what was it for you though? I mean, like when you were building Aerial Canvas.
Yeah.
Like what was like the key moment? You're like, oh, this is gonna take us to the next level. Was it like the projects you were doing? Was it the network? Probably the network. No.
I think there's an intuitive aspect of being an entrepreneur. At least over time, you get the experience and you know when to press different buttons and move different levers in your business. For Aerial Canvas, there was different stages. There was a stage where I was learning the industry. Like when I first joined, I was just like, real estate. My dad owns some real estate. I don't really know much about it besides what I've heard on YouTube or TV shows, right? Yeah. Buy real estate, invest in this. So, just talking to my customers, talking to agents, understanding what they want, understanding your clients and how you can better serve them, help me build a product. And so obviously I joined Aerial Canvas. I joined my business partner, and I really do believe that as an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily have to come up with everything yourself. Yeah. You can be extremely successful taking something that's working and just improving upon it, right? Yeah. You look at all of these companies that make electronics, that make products and services. You don't have to be the best. You just have to be better and want to improve upon what exists. Yeah. And whether that's for your own business or an idea that you would be passionate about, I think that's step one. Understanding your clients, understanding what your product is and understanding where you're looking to improve.
Yeah.
And from there, I started building the business, and everything compounds. You know,
Yeah.
you serve a couple good clients, they refer you clients, they refer you an organization like a brokerage to work with.
Yeah.
And then you continue to evolve that. And that's in everything we did. We try to push excellence in everything we did, on the sales front, on the product and service side, on the operational side, on the automation side. And, you know, that's where we started coming up with better and better systems and processes and bringing on better and better people to help build the organization. And it's not all rainbows and butterflies. We had the worst fucking month last month because real estate's in the shitter and no one wants to buy and sell. Interest rates are sky high. And that's when you get the other taste of entrepreneurship. The trough of sorrow. And losing money, like, you know, Tesla, and I love talking about Elon and Tesla because it's just such a magnificent journey. He didn't found Tesla. He joined Tesla because he believed in it. He bought into it. You know, I think what is it? I think $100 million is what he put in.
But everybody thinks he founded Tesla.
Yeah, because
if you ask anybody on the street,
he made it something because he made it something. And from there, he improved upon it. But even after putting all that love and energy, even though he had his first success, the Roadster, you know, car of the year, the Model S, when he was trying to scale the Model 3, he was facing bankruptcy for months on end and hitting all these walls with production that people don't know about. They think, like, just because you crushed it, a lot of people think you continue to crush it. And it's about the infinite game. You're always facing that battle as an entrepreneur on, like, how do I do more? Like, when things are going well, you want to gas on. When things aren't doing well, you want to continue to persevere and be relentless. And I think that's what's made me successful, because I'm no longer attached to aerial canvas. I had my success with aerial canvas, but I want to continue pushing in everything at it that I do. But with aerial canvas, I learned so much. I learned, you know, how to create a product and service based, like a client services type business, and scale that, automate that, replicate it in both people, systems, and processes. And once I was able to do that, I could take that skill set and I could bring it to other businesses and other other paths, other journeys.
I want to talk about failure too, because I think like a lot of people appreciate hearing like podcasts from business owners and entrepreneurs who talk about, like Gary Vee, for example. You know, he kind of makes you feel like everything's going to be okay. You know, he's not my go-to guy for advice on entrepreneurship, but there is some reality to like you said, like you guys had a horrible month. Like we have horrible months. You know, Custom e-signature, we're about to launch this platform. You know, I think it's going to hit big, but there's going to be months where I'm like, holy shit, this is not good. And like, I think an acceptance of like just knowing that like things are not always going to be good. And like if you work at a company, you're going to experience the same thing. And honestly, I would rather take the hardships of an entrepreneur than working at a company and feeling like, oh, my boss is like causing all this anxiety because this and this. You know, I'd rather take the pressure of like my business isn't doing well, because that shit's on me.
And I mean, even if you had a boss, it's just mindset, right? You feel like having, like you always are going to have a boss, whether it's your spouse, it's your client, it's yourself, right? You always have someone you need to be accountable to, and usually at the end of the day, it's yourself. But that's like the best boss, being accountable to yourself. And I think that's what you decided on. Is I don't want to be accountable to anyone else but myself.
No.
Yeah.
Really quickly, so for this podcast, like who can we pick a few topics I think would be like really good gold? But who is this for entrepreneurs?
Well,
like who's gonna?
I think
you said it's for real estate somewhat.
Well, our main audience is real estate marketing agency owners and real estate agents and companies. Okay. But I think. So
general business advice.
General business advice would be great. Most of our audience would be entrepreneurs or business owners. Okay. That's outside of the real estate realm. But you know, I think we have like maybe, how much time do we have? 10 minutes?
10 minutes. Okay. I just want to hit like a couple
Yeah.
quick, super succinct. Like, let's go back and forth.
Yeah.
Very tight segments.
There was, yeah, I know, because both you and I have
I just want to give you some like.
Yeah, some
And
gold.
I want to put you into saying like 10 words, and it's like that one.
Yeah, exactly.
We have that. But
Yeah, we're definitely short form content. Do
Yeah.
you believe in it?
Yeah. Well, you don't?
Hell no.
Really?
That's why we're doing this podcast
No,
right
no.
now. And I wanted it to be extra long, super long, so I can take this super long piece of content and I can chop it up into
and cut
50
it
fucking
down.
little
Yes,
pieces,
yes,
right?
yes.
And you know,
Yeah.
it's better that, like, there's two ways you can create short form content. One is more organic, which is what we're doing, and the other one is more scripted and structured. I believe in both because I think there's something that you can't replicate in a script that you can in a conversation like this.
Yeah. I mean.
So fuck yeah, I believe in short form content.
Yeah. But I know what you mean. I mean, I've been pressured into just like, okay, things are shorter now. You know, commercials aren't, 2 minutes. Shows aren't as long as they were. Like, everything is getting cut down for a good reason. There's so many things out there. But wait, I want to talk about like what are, like, in terms of like general advice, like the top, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 things. Because like I've been harping on like, for general business advice for anybody, like, especially if they're in marketing, like the biggest thing is like selling. Like, they're not selling then.
Well, I think it's different for everyone. I think for you, it's exciting and it's adventurous because you kind of hit a plateau. You hit a plateau with your technical, like, trading your time for money type, and you're like, what's the next level? And for an entrepreneur, that's exciting. Whereas for someone working a career, it's not exciting to not know if this giant venture where you're putting your life savings and all your energy this year is going to work out or not when you have a family to feed. So to answer your question, there's no, like, advice. The only advice you should take is advice that applies to you, right?
True,
If you're an entrepreneur in this industry, you should take probably advice from other successful entrepreneurs in this industry. If you're a doctor, you should probably take advice from not just the best doctor, but maybe the happiest doctor, right? And so, to answer your question, what is the best piece of advice that we can give entrepreneurs? It's not about the best piece of advice you can give. It's about the best questions you can ask as an entrepreneur. Hey, who out there is an entrepreneur I want to learn from? Who is someone I aspire to be like? Though asking those questions will help you find the right mentors that might be able to give you the right pieces of advice, and understanding where you want to be, because oftentimes I talk to entrepreneurs and they're like, I'm trying to double my business this year.
Sure.
I'm trying to double my business this year. And I've done that. So I can give them advice on that. But I'm at a different place in life where I've doubled, I've tripled, I've 10x my business. What I want is peace of mind. I want tranquility. I want to be able to put someone in place so I can work on other things. And so that's my current journey. And when you're done 10xing
what I'm currently
custom music, 100xing, you're gonna come to me and Brendan, and you're gonna be like, hey Brendan, remember that podcast we did where you're like, when I was just like, dude, I'm trying to 10x my business, I'm trying to gas on. I'm looking to chill now. I went to Bali, but I wasn't chilling. How do I chill like you? Or how do I travel and adventure like you? And that's something maybe I can speak upon then. And you've seen me do it.
For sure.
And then you'll ask me for that advice then. So it's not about what piece of advice we can give our audience. It's about the mindset we can help our audience adopt. And that mindset is, who are you asking for help from? Are you asking yourself for help? And what do you actually want? It's all, like, I'm a big believer in intention, right? What is your intention? Because a lot of people, they'll message me. They're like, hey, Brendan, I see what you're up to. I love to learn from you. And I'm just like, what the fuck do you actually want? Like, are you trying to be an entrepreneur? Are you trying to learn how to, vacation better? Like, I have so many things I can teach you. And what's in it for me? And I ask that selfishly because that's what everyone needs to understand when you seek help. What are you giving in return? Are you appreciative? Are you finding someone who will mentor you for free because they get more out of it than than they give you, because they're like, I'm helping Evan. That's why I give you free help, right?
No, for sure.
Because I'm like, I'm helping Evan Nicolini,
it's a go back and forth.
another entrepreneur that I can learn from.
Yeah.
And it has to be a win-win.
Yeah,
so, there's principles in life. Like, to answer your question, there's frameworks and principles.
Yeah.
And if you follow Elon, he believes in like first principles.
Yeah.
This is the best piece of advice, and it's a framework, right?
Yeah.
If you want to know the outcome, look at the incentives. I've had agency owners that I coach, and they're like, dude, I have this shit employee, and he sucks. Like, I'm thinking about firing him. I don't know why I'm still keeping him on. And I asked them, like, well, what do you want from this guy?
Yeah.
What are you giving this guy? And I was like, does this guy have an incentive to work hard? Does he have a punishment or like something that you're taking away if he doesn't perform?
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't have any of that. And once he implemented incentives and punishment, he was able to turn this C player into an A player.
Yeah.
And that's my piece of advice. Whether you're doing it for someone else or you're doing it for yourself, you have to understand, what is the incentive? What is the intention? What are the questions? What the fuck do you want out of this? Because if you don't know what you want, and you don't know what intention you have behind your actions, and you don't know the outcome you're looking for, you're going to be flopping around like magic cards.
For sure.
You never become Gyarados.
Yeah. Last thing is, like, because you were talking about like DMing people on Instagram.
Yeah.
The people I've met in the last 3 months have changed my entire life. Like just off Instagram DMs. People DMing me, or people who I've DM'd. Like, I went out to Tampa, Florida to film a commercial out there for that same disaster relief company. And there's one of the biggest production companies in the US, Diamond View Studios. I know a couple people over there that I just connected with over Instagram, and I've talked with the CEO over the phone every once in a while. Super cool guy. Yeah. And Ben Myers, who works there as well in their virtual set. Like, I hopped over their production one day. They played my Tactical Fleet commercial up there. Super dope guys. That age, I don't know how much money. They do millions and millions in rev a year. And like off of a DM. And those people and their advice changed everything I do in business.
That's awesome.
I think people should DM someone like 10 people a day. That's what I do. I literally start my day every day with 10 DMs, and then I continue my day. And I typically source from TikTok because it's just that.
But what's the intention, right? What do you want? I think
no intention.
I think I asked you though. I mean, you don't have to have an intention off the bat, but what is your overarching life course or business journey that you're going down? Yeah. Because if you don't have intention, you said send out 10 DMs. I could send out 10 DMs to 10 hood rats.
For sure.
What's the intention, right? Am I trying to get business from them?
No,
Am I trying to learn from them?
I think it's just real recognizes real. Like when I'm not, I'm messaging people who are doing 5, 10x what I'm doing, and it's just there's no intention, it's just acknowledgement. Like this person is crushing it. And I definitely know that I know things they don't know because they're maybe in a different space or a different same industry, different market. And I know yourself, our relationship, you know things I don't know. I'm your guy. If you need to build a web app or if you need to know about video production, the pricing of it, the logistics, operations, I will give it. You don't have to Google it. You don't have to use ChatGPT. Fuck that thing.
I'm messaging Evan Nicolini.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm trying to build this app. It's called Custom Y Signature.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this?
Blocked. All right. Do you want to sign off or what is
that? So if you're interested, this is what we want to do with all of our episodes. We come here, we set intention at the end. Obviously, you have business goals. Yeah. And there's people that are watching that might align with your business goals. Yeah. Some people that might be interested in a custom e-signature. So what's your intention? Give us an offer and give us, who should reach out to you? First off, if someone wants a custom e-signature, can you make our audience an offer today?
Please. Yeah, I actually will. Yeah. If you guys want a custom e-signature, we'll straight up do 50% off. Yeah. I can
only if you reference this podcast.
If you reference this podcast, 50% off. These things are $330. For 10 signatures. No one is doing this. Literally, I'm serious, no one is doing an animated signature because they haven't figured out the secret sauce behind it. So 50% off, we'll do what? ACRE 50.
Okay.
Yeah,
ACRE
ACRE
50.
50.
Coupon code ACRE 50.
CustomEsignature.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what about people that are watching this episode that want to meet you or learn from you or work with you?
Yeah.
Who are you looking for to be in your life?
When I reached out to people when I was in college, I don't want to make it a long thing. I was just gonna say, like, when I was in college, I wasn't really good at, like, I knew video, but like compared to now, it's like I look at that, like, obviously, like, that was horrible. But like, I appreciate the people who are way above me. Like Devin Supertramp. Do you know who that is?
Yeah.
Devin Graham. Like Devin Graham gave me a chance. I edited some stuff with him. We've talked over the phone. I'm like, dude, I was no one in college. This guy gave me a chance. So those people who are like, they're like super driven. Like they want to learn. Those people, even if where they're at isn't like anything crazy. And then also people who are in the same industry, same space. And if you're doing 20 times more than I am, I want to meet you too. Like, I'm down to meet anybody who is super freaking driven and wants to build stuff authentically. Yeah. I will do a 10, 30-minute Zoom call.
I'm glad I slid in your DMs, brother. This was fun. We'll do it again.
All right.
ACRE 50.